Hey folks, Chris Brands here from the Fisherman's Digest, and today I want to tell you about a great company, a great product we had the chance to find at ICAST in Orlando this year. The company is Jenlis Corporation. They distribute the Weed Razer. This product is unbelievable, and what I'm about to show and demonstrate to you, whether you're a hunter, a fisherman, recreational angler, it doesn't matter. It's going to handle the three main types of aquatic weed vegetation that you're going to encompass anywhere across the United States. Today we're here in beautiful sunny Florida, so we're going to talk about some of the things that we have down here that can be a problem around docks, lakes, ponds. It doesn't really matter. You're going to love this product. We're now at the water. I'm going to talk about the three main types of aquatic weed vegetation that you have anywhere in the United States, but specifically here in Florida. And off to my left here, first I'm going to talk about Submerged, which for us in Florida is primarily hydrilla, milfoil, coontail. And some of this stuff does mat at the surface, as you can tell, but it's primarily underneath and it clogs up a lot of waterways. Now it's great for the ducks, great for the fish, but it can become a problem casting or pitching. And when it's close by a dock, you're trying to clear a beachfront for your recreational swimming at your beachfront home, this is a great tool. I'm going to show you the application in a minute to help with that. To my right, in the distance, you can see cattails or bulrushes. This is what's called an emergent. They emerge from the bottom, top of the water, and then extend above the water. The third, which we don't have in this pond that we're showing you today, is lily pads. Everybody knows what a lily pad is. Lily pads start from the bottom and go up to the surface and they float. So although they hold a lot of cover for fish and they're great for that, sometimes they can clog up a swimming area. You're trying to cast off a dock, you have a young child, a young person you're trying to get in fishing, can be very, very frustrating trying to use a bobber in that situation. So next we're going to talk about these great tools and where they apply to all three of these. Hey folks, I finally get to talk to you about this great product, the Weed Razer. First of all, let's talk about the features real quick. You've got these plastic safety guides. If you notice, I'm wearing leather gloves. I recommend you wearing some gloves that are that sharp, and that's why they're that sharp, because they cut through everything. You've got a 48-inch path you're going to be cutting through here. So these are surgically stainless steel, and they're very, very, very sharp, okay? So great thing about it is, it doesn't matter if you're in saltwater, freshwater, it's going to take a lot of time before these things rust or deteriorate. Don't worry about that, but do take care of them. Make sure you take care of your hands first. That's why I'm wearing the leather gloves. Stainless here. You've got handle that snaps together. Roughly the whole thing is about 8 feet. You've got a nice plastic rubber handle to hang on to here. Great feature here. You've got a floating rope. Why is that critical? Because floating ropes, poly usually, is a lot lighter than a cotton rope, okay? And the less, weight you have on this system, the better. So you're looking at about 8 feet here. You've got a 25-foot floating rope that you're going to attach to a dock, attach to your arm. I've tied a simple bow line for you today that I'm going to have on my wrist when I toss this in just a minute to show you how great this product is. All right, next I'm going to talk about the Weed Rake. Hey folks, now I get a chance to talk to you about this great product, the Weed Rake. It's extendable. You just snap the little clips here. I've only got it set up to about 8 feet today for our video purposes, but certainly this whole thing extends to 11 feet. You've got a great aluminum handle. What's aluminum mean to you? That means no rust, no corrosion. So saltwater friendly, freshwater friendly, doesn't matter. Got some plastic teeth here. Look, I love the plastic teeth. Why? Can they rust? Absolutely not. So you don't have to worry about that. And they're flexible, because when you're cutting stuff with a Weed Razer, you obviously need this rake to be flexible when you're pulling that stuff out of the water. Once again, algae bloom that's off the surface of your pond, stuff like that application, you do not even need the Weed Razer in order to do that. You simply use the Weed Rake. So now I'm going to show you both of these products in action, and I think you'll agree with me, just great products. Hey folks, now I'm going to demonstrate the Weed Razer in action on a submerged plant situation. We talked about examples of submerged, which would be hydrilla, milfoil, coontail, and with a little algae bloom on top. So here in Florida, I've got some wiregrass right here by the shore. That's a problem. I've got flooded grass. We've had so much high rain in Florida. The great thing about this, I've got a 25-foot rope, an 8-foot pole with a Weed Razer on the end of it. That's about 30 feet I've got to deal with. So I've got some rubber boots on here. I'm just going to step down to the edge of the water. And what you're going to want to do is support it about 75% here. Want to take your hand, put it in your pond. You want to do an underhand toss. When it hits the water, let it sink for a moment, and then we'll show you how to work it on the way back. Okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now that wasn't the best throw, and you can see I went sideways with it, but it's not going to matter because when I start pulling on this rope, that Weed Razer is going to immediately start to cut, and you're going to see the devastation it creates. All right, here we go. So it's sunk. All I'm going to do is do some short jerky motions. I'm going to wrap the rope, short jerk, short jerk, short jerk, and manage it cutting. Hey folks, take a look at this 48-inch path that this Weed Razer just cut through. Remember, this was the worst case scenario. You had a submergent, which was hydrilla, and a matted algae bloom. You also had flooded grass, which is the worst because that's tougher than anything. And you had aquatic weeds coming all the way to the shoreline. And in 2 throws, look at the path that we've now just opened up. I haven't even used the Weed Rake to rake that loose stuff that's been cut that's on the surface right now. So you can imagine that with grass laying over it, that would be completely open water once I rake that. Here we go, folks. Now I've got the Weed Rake, and I'm going to try to tidy up this little mess or devastation that the Weed Razer caused right now, and we're going to clean this little pathway up to the open water. Here we go. Same principle. You can actually extend it. I've only got it to 8 feet, so if I had the other extension, I could reach out actually 11 feet. I'm actually just going to toss this, and here we go. Take a look at that, folks. Take a look at that. You talk about easy. That's with 1 throw in the absolute worst scenario you could ever have anywhere, let alone just in Florida. Now look at that path. That was just 1 throw. Okay, folks, here we are at the second worst scenario. We've got our cattails. I've got a nice rope here, 25-foot floating rope. I'm going to try and throw it over the cattails and let it sink to the base so that I can cut these cattails as low to the surface of the water as I can. We want to open up a place to swim on the beach. We want to open up a place so we can cast more for fishing. Whatever your application may be, this tool can do it. So here we go. Got the tool in the palm of my hand. I've got enough rope. Holding it to about 75%. I'm going to toss it and let it go to the bottom. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Great example. Look at those cattails. Look at that. Not the best throw in the world, and it cuts through them like butter. I've made not so good throws with this, and look at the devastation already. Hey folks, here we are. We're going to show you another example of an emergent weed, which is going to be the lily pads right behind me, and that is as thick as it gets. But you're going to watch this great product in action in just a couple of seconds. Remember this, after you launch it out, let it sink to the bottom or get down as far as it can. Some of the lily pads, the stems and stuff may keep it from going all the way to the bottom. That's okay because it's going to slice through them just like butter. You're going to love this product. Here we go. You're going to take the Weed Razer about 75%, grab your handle, you're going to toss it out, you're going to let it sink, give it a chance to sink. Short, jerky movements, get it back to you. I'm going to reel in the slack just a little bit, and here we go. Short, jerky movements. Look at that. Look at the results. Look at that stuff. Already been cut. It's starting to float. It's that fast. Look at that. Every jerk. Look at this stuff. boom. And now you can see the actual cuttings on the surface. That's how great this product is. Hey folks, you see the mess behind me with the Weed Razer cut through, and you see it floating on the surface, so I'm going to try and clean it up with the Weed Rake. Remember, this goes to 11 feet. I've only got it extended to about 8.5 feet right now. You've got about a 35-foot rope here, plenty of distance. If I toss this right, you'll be able to see where we cleaned up. So here we go. Once again, going to hold it in the palm of my hand, going to grab it to about 75%, and we're just going to toss out. Just bring it back, and here you go. Check it out. That's as thick as it gets in Florida. I don't know where else in the country, but that's pretty thick. Look at this clump. No effort. This is easy, easy, easy. Hey folks, just want to wrap up our demo for these great products, the Weed Razer, the Weed Rake. You must say, hey, with all that wear and tear, there's got to be some wear and tear. Sure there is. How do I sharpen it? Very easy. Look at this sharpener that Weed Razer company provides you when you get this in the box. In the box. So I'm on sand today, which is definitely not the advised place to sharpen something. Recommend you being on cement or wood. Simply just kneel down. Once again, I'm keeping my gloves on in case my hands slip. You're just going to run the sharpener down the length of the blade. And you can feel it get sharpened as you go. And when it goes, you just decrease the pressure. Switch to the other side, do the other side, or you can just turn it and sharpen it. Unbelievable. It's this easy. I invite you, please, please, please go on to www.weedrazer.com.